Hi, everybody. Okay, so let's get started. This is day 1384 um, since Richard was murdered, and we still do not have his body. So, and do we believe that the military has his body? Yes, we believe that because of witness testimonies and so many other irregularities and just all the events, how they happened. Um, because, when you have evidence, you have to prove your stance, in a court of law beyond a reasonable doubt. There, can be always a little doubt. But in Richard's case, because there is so much evidence of hard evidence, circumstantial evidence, and irregularities. And irregularities is something that I learned through this whole thing, because you could say, oh, that's so insane, or that was so strange, or they were shaking, or they were this, so you can add those up and then you have them analyzed, and it, it clearly shows that Richard was murdered, that this was a cover up, which means they had his body, and we believe there were confessions. We have intel that there uh, definitely was a confession, that also um, plea deals or immunity agreements going on because of this case uh, being so big. It's such a big case because the the leadership at Fort Bliss were absolutely involved in this. And of course, it's dual jurisdiction. So as soon as they took Richard off of Fort Bliss, it became, when they took his body off of Fort Bliss, it became dual jurisdiction. The other point is that there's a common denominator, and the common denominator is mortuary affairs. It's with these um, people that are in the mortuary business, and that is really creepy for us, but this is what it is. This is a common denominator in Richard's case. That and the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, the LDS, the Mormons, and the mortuary. That is what are the common denominators. And I probably should have labeled this live stream the Mormons and the mortuary, um, because that is what the common denominator here is, and those involved in crimes of trafficking across that border. So, of course, that's the motive, right? Let's keep the gravy train, even though it's an illegal gravy train, they wanted to keep it flowing, they wanted to keep it going. And it doesn't matter if people are dying, with all this fentanyl. It doesn't matter if it's thievery by stealing the people's weapons, the people's because the military is the people's military, right? It should be anyway, because it's funded by the people. So to steal these weapons and smuggle them over the border, and we know the gunsmiths involved. Um, Absolutely, the bigger smuggling, the bigger trafficking is with the bullets. That's why our intel saying that brown tip bullets were involved in the Walmart mass shooting is so shocking, because brown tip bullets are for special operations. They're not registered, and they're very easily, unless they're protected by a good leader, which El Paso didn't have, Fort Bliss didn't have. Um, they're easily smuggled because they're not registered. So, that means there was a security breach. There's a security problem on Fort Bliss, and we know that. So let's see, go live here. Okay. So, thank you everyone. I know that we're burning it's late again. It's late again. But it can't be helped because um, you know, uh, our legal actions now. The legal actions, our pursuit and legal actions are, we have spent the last almost 4 years preparing for these legal actions. Um, that's why we have written so many letters um, without so much frustration. I mean, it's always frustrating, right? What I'm about to tell you. But, you write a few letters, you do some open records, and you get no response. Like people just want to ignore you. And it's kind of like Bob Moore of El Paso Matters. And you would think that the charitable foundation, the El Paso Community Foundation, would respond too. You would think that Heather Wilson would know how to respond. Um, she's the president for UTEP. And you would think that Park University would know how to respond. All of the open records and everything. So it was a very unfriendly atmosphere, and if not, just ignoring you, not doing their duty, not doing what they are paid to do. And you can get frustrated, or you can just say, okay, let's pile in the letters, let's pile it in, and sooner or later we will begin to take legal actions. We will have enough. We will have enough letters in all the agencies and institutions and organizations proving that they had this information, that we were begging for help, that we were asking for help, that we're just going to um, absolutely keep asking, keep asking, keep asking. And then when legal action happens, they can't say what Lydia Rocha said to me. Oh, I didn't know. Oh, I didn't know. I didn't know. No, Lydia, I know you did know. I know you did know. And shame on you. And I understand, you know, I understand the criminal cartel business going on. And it's deadly. And so I haven't really focused so much on that mother to mother discussion that clearly was an irregularity. An irregularity. Yeah. And they take advantage, this criminal syndicate, they take advantage even of their own, the people that are their families that are born into this criminal network, and mess with their hearts, mess with their minds, and mess with their souls, and and turn them into beasts that mess with other people's hearts and souls, and end up, with the murder of Richard. This is absolutely such a terrible thing. So I do know that Lydia knew more, knew a lot, knows a lot, and she was not forthright. And joined the club. There was a lot of people that weren't forthright, but that time has ended because now we have the notice of death, and it's a whole different pursuit. We've had to, of course, handle paperwork and do some other things um, in this big changeover. You have to adjust to this big changeover. But, in order to get accountability, you have to pursue the legal actions. And that's what we're doing right now. So we're, in the process of um, formulating all of that with our attorneys forthwith, right? So that is what's really important and that's why we know that Richard's case is dual jurisdiction. And we also know that because we're in South Carolina and many of these people are um, in El Paso, I'm just trying to learn all of the legal processes, what that entails. And I know that the state of Texas doesn't take too kindly to all the garbage that's been going on. And a capital murder case, once you get on death row, it's very, very slim that you'll ever get off of it. Very, very slim. So, this is, we'll see. We'll see how these legal actions go forward. But that's where we're at. And I think that's why today was pretty long. And so I think I'm going to keep this a little bit short because, when you're pursuing legal action and you have to talk about the intel that you have, and the intel is all about the murder of your son and the decision to take him off of the military base, and how to dispose of him, and that they, had decided to dismember him, and that gets very difficult. Very, very difficult. And but I have to come on anyway. Sometimes when the vastness or the severity of this murder, is so clear, I have to come on anyway. It's our safety, because the criminal network is so severe, and I have to come on to let everyone know, especially the families of other victims, that we're working very, very hard behind the scenes to get accountability, real accountability, not just, pay out a little money and then they can continue doing what they do. No, real accountability. And by exposing Mario Reskin Ortiz being illegal, and I had one comment saying, well, how is he illegal? He's illegal in multiple ways. In multiple ways. And the easiest one is he is not an American citizen, and he's holding that position, making $753 times more than the average person in El Paso. He makes $438,000 plus some a year just for that. And then I put up an article that he even charges to go and testify in different counties. So, like, he doesn't get paid enough to do his job, and that's like extra or whatever. I mean, this man is a thief. He's a total thief, and he's worse, and he's absolutely worse, and we know that he's worse. And so, he is illegally holding that position. And his visa, he broke his visa. So Yeah, him being exposed, and we're not the ones that exposed him, okay? That has been a battle going on for a long time. We are just helping in that battle now. And then, of course, we're not the first ones to expose, uh, what's going on in the DA's office. That Bill Hicks is a usurper. That's not us first time. We're just helping out um, that exposure. And so I hope that you comment and share, because those are the two very most important jobs in a county. I think even more important than a mayor. Maybe I'm wrong on that, but to have the power that a medical examiner has and a DA has is huge, really big. And they can if they control those, the criminal network can get away with all kinds of crime. So, yeah. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for coming on. God bless you. Just wanted to let you know that that's what we're pursuing. And it's a little, we feel a lot of mixed emotions. A lot of mixed emotions. So I think I'm going to let you go, and God bless you. And I will be back tomorrow, God willing. Bye bye.